New York, like a sequin-studded black ops mission, Operation Mincemeat, has infiltrated the unlikeliest of Broadway audiences, the dads. The farcical World War II comedy tells the mind-boggling true story of how British spies used a stolen corpse to mislead Nazi Germany about where the Allies planned to invade next. The scrappy, gender-bending show appeals to a unique cross-section of theater kids and history buffs, with many audience members returning with their fathers. We never set out to make a piece of theater for the dads, but do you know what? We're really here for it, says Natasha Hodgson, one of the musical's co-creators and stars. It's lovely to have the dads come and see a show, which is essentially about fighting fascism, how gender isn't real, and how women should claim their history. Bring all the dads. The Olivier Award-winning production was conceived by Hodgson, David Cumming, Zoe Roberts, and Felix Hagen, who make up the theater company Spit Lip. It is now up for 4 Tony Awards including Best Musical, with rapturous reviews and die-hard fans known as Mincefluencers that have followed the show from London to New York. How does one react when you walk into Times Square and there's your poster up there? Hagen says, suddenly you're afloat in an ocean, as opposed to standing in a puddle. It's really quite astonishing. Need a break? Play the USA Today Daily Crossword Puzzle. Tony-nominated, Operation Mincemeat, brings in. Operation Mincemeat is based on an elaborate 1943 scheme by British intelligence to trick the Germans into thinking that Allied troops were set to invade Greece instead of Sicily. The plan hinged on an unclaimed body from a London morgue, which agents dressed as a fake British officer named William Martin, whom they planted with forged documents. They then dropped the corpse off the Spanish coast and his briefcase was later recovered by the Nazis, who delivered the falsified orders straight to Adolf Hitler. As a result, the Germans were caught off guard when Allied forces invaded Sicily, which helped further Benito Mussolini's downfall and was considered a major turning point in World War II. Hodgson first learned of the real-life Operation Mincemeat through a podcast that her brother recommended. Initially, I was like, there's enough art about World War II and I'm crushingly bored of it, Hodgson says. But she was quickly enraptured by the story's vibrant characters and heist-like adventure. I fell in love with it completely. It's global stakes, but with this gang of little idiots. The fast-paced show got its start in 2019 at an 80-seat black box theater in London. Some early audience members were vehemently opposed to the musical, arguing that it was too far-fetched and disrespectful. We got feedback saying, you cannot lie about the war like this, when in actuality, it was all 100% true, Cumming says. For instance, there was a war magician who worked in the same department as these guys and created inflatable tanks to deceive the Germans. There was also a night-blind racecar driver who drove the body up to Scotland and crashed numerous times because he couldn't see. We tried to put these things into the story, but there's a limit to what audiences will believe. The truth is far more wild than you're allowed to put on stage. Laughing, Hagen adds, if we put in everything that we thought was funny, it'd be 3 days long. We should do a director's cut. The musical honors, Invisible, World War II heroes including Glyndŵr Michael.